Hey guys, it's Sunshine Simone here, and I'm finally excited to be doing the world's largest coffee tasting. I had seen it originally on James Hoffman's channel, and he filmed his about a month ago, but life got in the way, and I just really wanted to film this because for my experience and background, I was a barista for 4 years, and now I'm just a at-home coffee drinker. I like to use Chemex and not V60, but the Kalita Wave for my main coffee, and then sometimes if I'm traveling, I'll use the AeroPress. But those are my three mainstays. So today I have 5 coffees provided by Square Mile Coffee Roasters, and they're all unmarked, unnamed, except for just the letter of the coffee because it's kind of a blind tasting. I haven't watched the full video that James Hoffman did yet, but I did do some pre-smells because I kind of wanted to see what I was working with to see if I could like guess maybe, but they're like 2 of them are slightly similar. I got South American vibes from like A, B, C, and E. That sounds a little bit overwhelming to one side though, so we'll see. Because I had gotten some vegetal notes from A, and then some dark chocolate nutty notes as well. And then for D was a complete fruit bomb, so my guess for that one is definitely Ethiopia, or maybe, if I'm wrong, maybe Colombia, but I'm really excited to see what it actually is gonna be. But I've got my tasting spoons ready. I haven't ground my coffee yet. I'm gonna do 12 grams of coffee to about 20 grams of liquid or water. Water that has mineralized content in it. It's called third wave water. And then I've got my tasting sheet here. So any aroma, acidity, sweetness, body, finish, flavor, and then overall my score of what I think will be going on there. And then, so I'm gonna conduct this, and then I'm gonna go back and watch to see how close. I'm actually really excited because I've been completely avoiding looking on social media to see like what each thing was, just to go into it completely blind, aside from smelling obviously. But yeah, let's get started. Alrighty, so we have our setup here. I'm getting ready to grind these coffees. They're actually nice enough to give us a grind sample, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started with that. Luckily, I was able to keep all the coffees separated and in correct order. I almost had a little mishap, but yeah, let's get started. Don't mind the grind size. It looks like I'm grinding for espresso, but I readjusted the burrs because I like to experiment with grind sizes, so it looks quite small, but as you can see, this is actually pretty similar to, it's a little bit finer than what I would typically do for drip coffee. So yeah, and I'm probably gonna put some music over this, so I won't be infiltrating your ears with the sound of my grinding. All right, and we're back. As you probably just saw, I messed up grind A. I overestimated my abilities, which happens to the best of us, but I went ahead and set that one aside because I will be doing 2 run-throughs because there's enough coffee, so why wouldn't I? Probably gonna be jacked after tasting this. Oh, and before I get officially started, I did mention previously that I would be doing 20 grams. I don't know why my brain dropped the second 0 in each cup for water weight, and I'm actually gonna be doing 200 per cup. And then I'll probably have to resort to my handy dandy kayak to weigh out everything, just because I don't know if my kettle is capable of holding a full liter of water, so or if so, it'll be right to the brim. So I'm probably gonna have to do 2 trips because in the video I was just watching, he says to avoid, obviously because of extraction reasons, to avoid half filling any cups, and I can say that's pretty consistent throughout any tasting. So, but just in case you're tasting something at home, or you know, you're like, what is she doing? That's why I'm stepping away for a moment. If I decide to change out the water, I might be able to just do it all in one go, but we'll see. All right, so we're gonna get started now. I'm gonna, as I said before, use my akaya to weigh out each individual, just to kind of keep some consistency throughout each cup. Like I said, I'm gonna do 200 grams of water in here. My scale would like to cooperate, that would be lovely. There we go. All right. So, and then after each cup is filled, I'll start a 4-minute timer. So there will be a slight, there'll probably be maybe like a, I'm gonna say 20 seconds. That's kind of a lot, but I'm doing what I can. And luckily, all my water fit in the kettle. So I'm gonna just do a 4-minute timer for that. yeah, I'm actually really excited. Oh, that smells a bit nicer than before, I think. Oh wait, maybe I think I did like B. It was A that I wasn't too fond of. All right. With how dark A smelled, I'm actually surprised it's blooming as much as it is. It's actually, and for you, those of you that are not familiar, blooming is when coffee releases CO2 gas, and that's what those little bubbles. You'll sometimes, if you drink espresso, you'll see gas bubbles on top of your espresso. That's aka the crema. It's just very fine micro bubbles. And if you do know that, that's fantastic. I'm not trying to mansplain to anyone, or I guess I'm a girl, so womansplain. All right, ultimate bloomage. And this is the final one. It's kind of funny actually, because through this I learned that all my cups are not exactly, they came from the same package, but they're not all exactly the same weight. Like every time I reset it, I have to retire it each time. I just thought that was a small funny tidbit, but yeah, I'm gonna give this 4 minutes. I'm actually gonna get that started now. Luckily this has a timer on it. All right, and yeah, I'll see you in 4 minutes. While everything is underway, I just wanted to give a little overshot just to show you what everything looked like. We're at 2 minutes and 51 seconds, so most of the blooming has already happened. I dropped the ball when I decided I wanted to get an overshot, but here it is. This is what we're working with so far. We got about 50 seconds left. I know I told you I'd see you in 4 minutes, but that's probably about 30 seconds in your time. Okay, it's been 4 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn my scale off, and then I'm gonna go ahead and break, and then take the grounds off. So I have my rinsing here. On your end, sorry, this is a bit of the boring bit. Oh, and actually, I have a towel. Some people like to sniff in between. It sounds kind of strange. Just to refresh your nose palate. So instead of sniffing my own self, I know that's also just as effective. And then lastly, interesting. That kind of smells like teriyaki sauce, I'm not gonna lie. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and scoop off the grounds. So that we don't get any of that in our mouth. And there shouldn't be, because usually when you break, some of the coffee sinks to the bottom, which is quite convenient. Double scooper here. That's hilarious. I cannot believe it smells like teriyaki sauce. I wonder what's going on with that. All right, and now we're gonna go with our tasting to see what I do like and see if my predictions were correct. Now that my 4 minute steep is concluded. All right, so now the fun part begins. I only had 6 ounces of coffee beforehand, so I'm like extremely excited to get to this part because your girl's starting to get a caffeine headache. But I'm just gonna do, like I warned you before, just do a light barista slurp, nothing excessive. So if you are offended by that, I'm sorry, you're watching the wrong video. But let's begin. All right. And then I have my water, obviously, to cleanse the palate between each. As expected. Definitely something I would not drink on a regular basis. It's not bad per se, it's just not my thing. All right, that's a bit better. All right, number 3, or C in this case. Let's go for C. It's kind of nice actually. Kind of that again. Kind of like nutty. I'm gonna stick with South America there. That I'm going for like, I don't know if it's roasted darker, or if it's Sumatra, or what region it's from, but that was actually my least out of the favorites so far. Let's go for D. I'm so excited for this. Yes. Yes. All right. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. E. Tastes like teriyaki sauce. Smells like teriyaki sauce. Specifically, Sarku Japan chicken is what I'm talking about, by the way. I don't know if it's because I've made it so much, but essentially like mall food chicken. All right, that's my first pass through. I'm gonna do another second pass through. I'm gonna do one more go, but I already know where I stand. I actually like B, C, D, and A and E are a no-go for me. As far as what I typically would drink, if someone were to give that to me and be like, this is the caffeine you have today, I'm not picky. Sometimes you have to drink what you don't like to reset what you do like, you know what I mean? So, there's opposites to everything. All right, let's go again. That wasn't as offensive that time. I think it's because I don't like E so much that actually from 2, I'm getting a bit of dryness on the front of my tongue. I'm wondering if I slightly over extracted it. I mean, I went by the 4-minute mark, but C. As far as coffees that's not D, C is definitely my second favorite. In order now, it's D, D, C, B, and going in for D again because, man, that's just so good. Honestly, like, I might be tempted to just strain that off later and drink the rest of it because I'm that type of person, but. Okay, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's just that first hit, I think it's my initial smell of when I first, right before when I broke it, that was giving me that teriyaki, and I just can't get that out of my head, but like, it's not terrible, it's just not, like I said again, I can only iterate it so much, it's not my thing. So I'm gonna go into my sheet here, and then that finish is definitely long. Strong body. Sweetness, it kind of does have a sweetness because it has that like more sweet teriyaki, like savory flavor, like almost like a umami coffee. So I'm gonna go in the middle with the sweetness because it's not necessarily not sweet. It's just maybe I'm getting vegetal, maybe like mushroom almost. I'm gonna write that down, mushroom, just because there's something about it. It's like umami. I can't picture whether it's like I said, teriyaki, mushroom. I almost feel like I'm drinking like a miso soup or something when I drink that. Or just like a ramen broth would actually be more accurate than miso. But acidity, let's go in for acidity again just because kind of lost some of that. Let's see what we got. It's not super high in acidity. The acid content, which tends to happen with darker coffee sometimes, like as long as you don't over extract them, you can get very low acidity coffees, which is why I noticed a lot of shops around town will opt for darker coffees or Sumatra just to do their cold brew, unless you're doing like a Kyoto, some people opt for Ethiopia, but typically I noticed like South America, Sumatra, etc. Are used for cold brews or French presses. I notice a lot of Americans like drinking French press coffee that's darker, but All right, so I have finally finished tasting all of these coffees, and just to see, I wanted to, I don't have a cap on the regions yet. I still have to go and research. I don't know if they're posted somewhere or whatnot, but I did just watch James's video and him responding, with the chat and whatnot from the third, and it is hilarious. Aside from like maybe a few tasting notes, I was pretty much in line with what people were saying, so that's kind of exciting. And then they were talking about E specifically, and someone called out sesame, sesame oil or something, or burnt popcorn, and I'm like, that is it. Earlier I said mushroom maybe, or teriyaki. It is very much a different coffee from all three. At the end of the video, they actually ended up looking at the coffees from E as a perspective point and tasting in line with those, and I essentially did the same thing on my second pass. And just for efficiency's sake, I will be doing a second run through of those coffees with the grinds that I haven't used yet, but I don't think I'm going to film that, just because I don't really think I'm going to get much more out of these coffees than I already have. They're very distinctive. A, B, and C are very nice coffees. And D is exquisite in my opinion. He was actually mentioning how people explicitly don't go for that flavor profile just because it is super sweet and fruity, and that's just my style. I don't know if it's just because of my palate or being exposed to so much stuff, but that's like, it's not what you would expect out of a coffee 10 years ago, so it's because it's so different. I think that's why I like it so much. And then they also mentioned with C that it kind of has a tea-like body as compared to B, and that is extremely true. I didn't really say that or notice it, but then thinking back on how I compared the bodies, I looked at my notes, and that makes a lot of sense. So it was really exciting to watch the video after I just did this, because all the coffees were extremely distinctive. The only two that were kind of a toss-up for me were B and C, because they kind of both had that South American coffee vibe to me, at least, just with different body styles. And then A is a bit darker tasting, a bit more fuller bodied than I like personally, and E was just not it for me. I would drink it if I had to, but only under those circumstances, and it either have to be free or someone would have to pay me, because it's not my thing. But I will be, like I said earlier, it's a little tacky, but I will be straighting D and drinking that, because I have not had enough caffeine today. So yeah, until next time, I'm gonna do my second tasting, and hopefully I can come up with some other coffee related ideas, just because I miss being in the coffee industry. So this thing is fun for me, and if you guys have any questions, be sure to comment down below, like and subscribe if you so dare or please, and I'll see you around next time. Thanks, bye. I'd like to make a correction, because I think in the last few minutes ago I said that James said that people did not like the flavor profile of coffee D, which is not in fact true at all. I'm sure there's tons of people that like that. I'm not, an original case, but I just wanted to mention that, because I said people don't like that, but some people don't like that because they want more of a robust, I hate the word robust. They want a more full-bodied, less sweet, more, caramelly type of standard coffee. But yeah. All right, bye for real.